mind about a lot of things. I used to think that anybody getting into real estate investment was speculating, taking high risk. I myself had gotten hurt many times in real estate investment saying, this isn't my business, this isn't my expertise, and there's no consistent way to really earn money by investing in real estate. Well, my opinion's completely changed on that. So check out this interview that I did with Ron Phillips. Ron, thanks so much for sitting down with us and giving us your time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Happy to be here.
So you have a background in real estate. How did you get involved in that?
I love to read, so I just started reading books. And I was actually reading books about just about money in general. Mm-hmm. And I traded one to a buddy of mine, and he gave me a book that was specifically about real estate investing. And I'd had some experience with it in my past, not personally, but with some people that I knew. And so it just resonated. And then I just started diving in and trying to learn as much as I could learn about it because it was fascinating to me.
Did you start your career here, or was it somewhere else?
No, I started my career in Kansas City, actually. Just cutting my teeth in real estate. But that was after a sales career, and so I had been in sales for a number of years after the military, and then I did a real estate deal and never looked back.
So what form of real estate investing do you do?
Well, I started out doing like wholesaling and rehabbing or fixing houses and selling to the market. And then I started to realize after I hung out with I was buying properties from a couple, and they kept having houses, and I was a little bit fascinated as to why they continued to have properties. And it turns out they were selling off their rental pool and replacing it with other properties constantly. So I was buying these properties, and they always seemed available for lunch. They didn't seem to work as hard as I did, and so I just started to ask them questions about what they did, and lo and behold, they really didn't work as hard as me, and they made considerably more money than I did. Right. So it didn't take me very long to try to start to understand why. Why is it that they have time and they have money, and I have time? I don't have any time, and I have money, but it seems like there's a cap to that, And they owned a rental real estate portfolio that produced cash flow like a machine every single month, and I didn't. I was producing my income from buying properties or buying inventory, selling the inventory. Well, once I'm out of inventory, I'm out of business. So I just had to constantly fill this engine that I had made, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But once I realized that you could fill it once and it kept paying you over and over again, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I figured that out real quick. You could actually have these things just constantly produce money for you.
So basically, you were like what they'd call flipping houses. You'd buy it, rehab, and then sell it, and then get the next one. So it was very transactional, the business. It's transaction to transaction that you were living.
It was, and I was in business with my brother, and we found a way to create a little bit more of a machine. We had a mortgage broker that was helping us out. He would get the people all qualified for us. And so we had people coming in on the buyer's side, and we had figured out how to create a pretty decent funnel on our acquisition side too. And so that thing was starting to churn out some pretty decent volume. And then there was some regulation changes that really hurt our business in the early 2000s.
What were those? In other words, because this is kind of important when you're dealing in a regulated industry, and there's aspects that touch real estate that are very regulated, right?
Sure.
And those are things you have to kind of be prepared for. There could be shifts, and how might that affect you? So what was it that actually happened?
Yeah, and we were completely unprepared for it. We were selling all of our properties. All the people that were coming to us were using HUD financing, and so we were very.
Can you just
dependent.
Explain what HUD financing is?
Yeah, it's a government-backed loan product, right? So and this was pre-2008 crash. So back then, anybody that fogged a mirror could get a loan. Right. Literally anybody could get a loan, and so all of our business, well, not because we were rehabbing houses that were kind of in the lower income area. And so since we were so dependent on this one source, there was some fraud that had happened in Kansas City. HUD changed their guidelines for rehabbers, so we had to have 12 months on title before we could sell a property to a person that was using a HUD loan.
Which means that you had to hold it longer?
Yeah, for a year.